Ah,
Oh, yeah.
our final Collecturbation for season 3. So I decided I'd pick one of my favorite records of all time. I like it so much, I actually have 2 copies. Why? I don't know. Anyway,
Looks like a color scheme.
well, one's Harvest, and I think one of them, this one's like from a Dutch label or something. I don't know. But anyway, Maiden, Number of the Beast, 1982. A
This
band that recently announced this tour will be their 50-year anniversary.
Wow.
50. Yep. Anyway,
Despite Paul Di'Anno's well-deserved popularity and scrappy style, the ruthless despotism of the Maiden metal machine proved to be too much for the Chingford crooner. Not to suggest the institution was overly disciplined, but the band had actually developed a dress code by this point. Bomber jackets, stripy shirts,
chirps.
not to suggest the institution was overly disciplined, but the band had actually developed a dress code by this point. Bomber jackets, stripy shirts, stretched jeans, white high tops. Check the early photos if you don't believe me.
There's a story in Dickinson's book where he talks about right after he joined the band, and he comes in there and he was dressed in his Samson clothes, and Rod Smallwood's like, appalling. Here's some money, get some clothes. So yeah, they had a dress code, right? Anyway, it's another record, another lineup change, albeit a central one that would recolor the band's sound for decades. Dickinson is subsequently nipped from Samson and very soon submitted to the well-publicized studio torture by Martin Birch making this record. We all have heard multiple takes, throwing furniture, you know the story. There's an interesting songwriting shift for album number 3, which features contributions from Clive Burr and Adrian Smith, as well as the usual Harris. Songs either barrel along at a feverish pace or they build into mini epics. There's no more jaunty prog like Another Life or trancy psych like Prodigal Son or Strange World. In fact, there's no tracing Maiden's influences at this point. Their sound is carved in the headstone, quickly becoming a blueprint for fledgling metal bands the world over.
Overall, lyrical themes are expanding, albeit mainly through cinema inspired themes and TV references. The horror themes of the first 2 albums are all but eliminated, but there's still that undercurrent of North End flick knife seediness in Gangland and 22 Acacia Avenue. The latter particularly impressive, the band actually writing a sequel to an earlier song without sounding like they're repeating themselves.
I'm starting to think there's kind of a British theme to this show. I don't know. Anyway, woe to you of Earth and Sea. This is Number of the Beast. Secret sauce lies in the fact that this is the only album to feature the ferocious feral pairing of Bruce Dickinson and Clive Burr. There's something about Bruce's anthemic, throaty style and Clive's busy, Brian Downey-like flash. Martin Birch obviously picked up on it as producer. 3 songs start off with some flashy drums: Run to the Hills, Gangland, and The Prisoner. How the Ruth doth pound with falling rocks. Perhaps the best evidence is the phenomenon lays in the build-up and verses in the aforementioned 22 Acacia Avenue. By the time they get to the bite or excite or make her get down on her knees part, Dickinson and Burr are just flying along. They are in the zone.
At any rate, there's something about the surges of power on this record, particularly the title track, kicking in after that incomparable scream and the apocal buildup of Hallowed Be Thy Name. Perhaps the greatest metal epic ever penned, alongside priests beyond the realms of death that never seem to get old. It's the very apex of the new wave of British heavy metal sounding its death knell. It still erases the petty tensions of the day. In fact, I submit that the Beast is so chock full of metallic daring do, they earn the right to play Run to the Hills until I actually do Run to the Hills.
I've thought about it several times. The unified artwork between the hell-licking cover and the Bigger Than the Devil singles seemed to cement Eddie as the ultimate band mascot at this point, the true face of this world-conquering entity. The band is the full package, their output visually stunning as it was sonically plundering. Ludicrous international touring and recording schedules would ensue as the band conquered the world. Such a shame that old Clive had to go. I never really could find out why he got kicked out of the band. The only thing I could read is Steve said they didn't like his luggage. That couldn't have been it. But I mean, I gotta say, as much as I love Peace of Mind, Power Slave, Somewhere in Time, um, this is my Maiden album. And it's largely just because of Clive Burr. So R.I.P. Clive, you were one of a kind. This is Hallowed Be Thy Name.
When the praise comes to read me the last night, take a look for the bars of the last night, of a wall that has gone very wrong for me. Can it be that there's some sort of error, or to stop the surmounting terror? Is it really the end of some crazy dream? Somebody please coming down and screaming, it's not easy to stop from...
This is the Snaggletooth Rock and Roll Podcast.